up, everybody? Thank you for being here. Warm hello and a warm hello and a warm thank you for being here. It's, what is it, Monday? It's Tuesday 2/18/2025. I hope everybody's doing pretty well. Hope everybody's doing really well, not just pretty well. I'm, of course, Big Cheds from Twitter. That's probably where you know me from. I teach professional technical analysis, Japanese candlestick theory, and classical charting. I've published 3 books. I have a 4th book coming pretty soon, Trading Wisdom Part 2, The Trading Journal. Since my new book's coming, I'm making my last one free. I really try to make most of what I do is free. So I got a new playlist for trading quotes. Check that out. Brand new traders, even experienced traders, watch the Masterclass tutorial. It's going to teach you how to set up your chart, how to use moving averages, how to interpret volume. Check out the long form interviews. Check out all the stuff I have for you. This is going to go into the quick market update series. These are kind of variety show. I have some tweets to look at, but I want to hear from you in the chat room. I want to hear your questions, your comments. Give me really good trading questions. If you're looking for more, I do twice a week a full market report at Bitcoin Live. I've been doing that for almost 7 years, every Wednesday and Sunday night, with the best team in the world that studies crypto. So consider checking that out. But for you here today, leave me a note. Let me know in the chat. First of all, subscribe so you can leave a chat. Let me know how you found the channel, how you're feeling, and then a good trading question. I want you to help me to create educational value, educational content. Ask something that you've been having trouble with, because it's a chance that somebody else is probably also having trouble with that issue. So please go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Certainly, if you can hear me as well, let me know you can hear me. I've done these streams where I'm 20 minutes in and there's not that long, 10 minutes in and there's no audio. So it's an interesting, really interesting time in the market. There's a lot of fear right now. You can feel it, even though Bitcoin looks really good. I mean, there's no change in the Bitcoin chart. Since we last spoke, it's holding EMA 8. It's well above the rising 200. Moving averages are fanned out. It's holding important range lows, circa 91K zone. Daily chart, you've got a chop channel, and you've essentially sideways here for a week or 2 weeks almost. And we're watching to see if we get price interaction with range lows, which would be another buying opportunity, or price interaction with the range peak. And while that's going on, we've got all sorts of shenanigans with Ethereum, with Solana, and some other stuff going on in the market. I can't chart I'm not going to chart Libra coin. I don't chart I need a price history to do something. So I'm not going to be able to chart that, but we can maybe talk about it. So it's an interesting time in the market. I had been looking at Solana for a trade on a recapture of 190. I put out that tweet as it was falling and testing generally a throwback level, 185 to 190, which is held for quite a while. Looks to be losing that level. But my first tweet was pointing out that and I'll talk about, actually, let's just do Bitcoin to Bitcoin. I'll do Solana, then I'll do Ethereum. And then I'll check in with you guys. I put out a tweet. There was all these, first of all, Sol versus weekly MA50. And if you note, every time the price has tested this range in the weekly chart, the simple moving average 50 period, the SMA 50, it's found support, right? And so we're right below it. You really want to see it recapture this MA 50 before the week's end. But this is where, it's held pretty much all the way up, since the bottom, since $20. So this is an important level for the chart to continue, right? So you want to keep an eye on that. And I've noticed FUD, and, whether the FUD, quote unquote, turns out to be true or not, there's a thing. And Cointelegraph's great. They did a great the story of crypto Cheds story. I love Cointelegraph. This tweet was interesting though, and you see a lot of these. It's a general rule for me, right? Historically, anytime there's fear that someone might sell in the future, it's an opportunity for long. Every time you hear people say, "Oh, don't buy this," or "This is in trouble because somebody might buy in the might be selling," or "There's something's gonna unlock." The whole idea is, be afraid now because in the future something bad's going to be happening. But for me, it's that's usually a buying opportunity, because if the chart was bad, bears would just say the chart's bad. people have sold, but the whole idea, the whole bear thesis relies on words, because, somebody might be selling, in the future, right? That's my general consensus. It doesn't always work, but when I see that, I tend to get interested. You see that with Bitcoin too, where it's, the miners are banning and they're going to have to sell, or somebody's going to be forced to sell. For me, my instinct is to go against that. So I saw a lot of FUD on Sol. It did not hold where I wanted to see it hold at 185. It's actually right back to the next level, right around 160 to 165. I'm still playing this level to level, and I'm still inclined to look at this action here as another throwback. I would have wanted ideally to see it hold at 185. TLDR, I'm still looking at looking at Solana as an uptrend. It's an uptrend testing support. So this is another level for it to potentially hold. If it fails to hold at like 160, I think you're going to want to step back and consider that maybe more downside is coming, maybe even as low as like 120. So I'm going to clean it up again and show you the two major levels I'm watching. I think right now, you could take 180. I think you're going to want to wait for a 190 flip on the upside, or you're potentially playing a drop back to these range lows right here, right around 160 to 165. Okay. I still think your posture is to buy a dip in an uptrend. It's it's just below a rising 200. So it's an unconfirmed uptrend right now, but you still have pretty good price structure. So that's my Bitcoin, Ethereum. That's my Solana. Let's go to Ethereum. It's weak to Bitcoin, weak overall, unable to hold even at 2,700, which would have been kind of the first building block to rise higher and continue with the weekly trend. The weekly trend itself is starting to roll over just a little bit. But it's still an uptrend. It's still priced above a rising 200. We know it's weak to Bitcoin. People want to call bottom on Ethereum versus Bitcoin. I'd say stop doing that until you get a lot more information. And so that's my quick spiel on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. Once again, folks, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope you've enjoyed. Have any of you looked at the free version, my trading quotes yet? Let me know. And I'm going to check in with the chat room. What's up? Caleb, Martwan, what's cracking? Luis, Shri, Thomas, Bilal. Hey, Bilal, how you doing, bud? Shiva and Cliff. It's great to see you folks, and the folks who keep coming every time. I love to hear you. I love the questions too. I'm going to try to get to all the chats, but it's just me, so I'll probably miss a few. So let me look from the top to see anything interesting. All right, Cliff says, Cheds, thanks for the info. My biggest problem with trading is not being able to figure out the local tops and bottoms. Yeah, I'm not a day trader. Well, that's good. If you're more of a week trader, then stay in the weekly chart. But for example, like you say you're having trouble finding the local tops and bottoms. I mean, daily chart's pretty well defined. And the whole point is that if it's not well defined, it's not a level. Like it should be an obvious level to you. So when the price moves, it has a range and it breaks out of the range and it pauses and consolidates. When it drops and bulls step in, you start to see ideally a level. Sometimes it will flag, you get a falling channel that's way more difficult. But you often will have at minimum some type of an overhead level if it's a rising trend. So just go with the most obvious level in the chart. And if it's not obvious, it's not a level in the chart. And that's the whole point is with your trading selection. And you say you're a weekly trader, we'll just stay in the weekly, which is a little bit easier. But just take the most obvious levels in the chart, find charts that have well-defined levels and wait for price interaction with those levels. You have the option in 24/7 markets, and you have the option with so many different trading instruments to just play the ones that are the most clearly defined levels, because that will allow you to define your risk. All right? Having my coffee. Hope everybody's doing well. Join us, Hug Bear says, thanks for giving us solid thoughts. I'm just hanging out talking into a microphone, and I get to talk to you folks from all around the world. I love doing this. This is 3 times a week, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, by the way, for these streams. All right, no questions. David says, keep on rocking. Acid says, Bitcoin Live been subbed since 2022. Only place I've seen the entire space that is legit service that pays for itself. Thank you, man. I'm honestly incredibly proud of Bitcoin Live. I don't know if you know, but I haven't missed a report in like over 6 years. Even when I'm sick, I'm traveling on vacation. I've got a big vacation coming up, so I'll probably have to skip YouTube, but I don't skip Bitcoin Live. Never. Do you see any technical weakness or bearish signs? Shri, on what chart? You need to specify for me when you say that. I don't know what chart you're talking about, Shri. Let's see. Can you check the USDT dominance? I don't watch dominance charts. I'll do it for you, but I don't. What's the value? I don't believe in looking at trading instruments that you're not trading. Like, what's the point of that, right? You're wasting your muscle memory. At the end of the day, if you're trading Solana, you're trading Solana. You're not doing it based on what like the dominance chart is doing. There's nothing. What is there? There's nothing here. It's a flat trend. There's no. I don't think there's really any value or information in this chart. So I'm not going to spend really any time on it. I'm just to be blunt with you. You shouldn't, especially you, if you're in my chat room and you're asking me questions, like stop looking at the dominance chart. If you're trading BNB or Aave, watch BNB or Aave. Watch what you're going to trade. You're going to get no alpha. It's like trading based on the RSI or the MACD. Like trade based on what the chart is doing, the chart in front of you. Stop looking at the dominance chart. All right, let's see. Okay, great question by Arbaz Kashmani. And so this question is answered for you in the Masterclass tutorial playlist, as most of your questions are. The question is this, and I'll use this chart as an example. So the question is, I got to find it again. When I'm getting into a trade, how do I determine what my stop loss should be? Well, your stop loss is when your idea fails. That's the whole point, right? So if my whole idea is that, you know, BNB's rejected here at 7, it's an uptrend. So I want to play an overhead breakout. It's rejected at 730, you know, multiple times. You have time interval, price distance. It's a well-defined level in classical charting. If you go long in a break of 730, if the price doesn't hold 730, your idea fails. That's your stop loss. Maybe you use, you know, 725 or 720, use a nearby level. Then it's a question of confirmation method, which depends on your risk tolerance style. It could be as simple as a 1-hour candle close below the level would invalidate. It could be 2 4-hour candle closes. It could be 1 daily close. It could be a percentage move away, and that's kind of up to you. But a stop loss is when your idea fails. If you like, every time you don't just buy something because you like it. Oh, I like the technology. That's nonsense. You buy something because it gave you a reason to buy it, okay? For example, if OM Mantra, which is a beautiful chart, if Mantra dropped back to like the 450 range, you'd buy in a throwback because you believe it's going to hold. And if it couldn't hold maybe 430 or 440, you don't step back out and say, my idea has failed. The whole idea is you have to define, like if you can't even define your stop loss, like don't do anything. Your stop loss is when the idea fails. So if bears wanted to take a stop loss here on a break of like 90K, which would be like right here, if you're a bear and you say, okay, you know, Bitcoin lost 90K, I'm taking a short. If it drops to like 88.5 and then rallies, you don't hold your short to 105 and get liquidated, or 100, or even 97 and get liquidated, or even 94. Your stop loss is when your idea fails. And if you can't define your idea in such a way that you can define when it fails, you have nothing, okay? Let's see. I already talked about Solana, so we did that. Folks, give me your best questions. Give me some interesting trading questions, okay? EE says, haven't sold at the top and I'm not underwater, but I hit stop loss. What should I do? Well, it's your trade. I don't know what your entry is. I don't know what your plan was. I don't know. Question from EE. What's your plan? Like if you're now with no plan, then you've got nothing. Like I have a tweet in my quotes book. It says, and if the reason you entered your trade no longer exists, then a reason to exit your trade now does. I just told you I'm looking to buy at a throwback level of 160, 165, but if that doesn't hold, it's likely to roll over much lower. You know, do with that information as you will, but I really dislike hearing, oh, I'm in this trade. What should I do now? Like, you have to take power and control of this. Is your money. Like, don't be so cavalier with your funds. Don't be so casual. What's my stop loss? Like your stop loss is when your idea fails. And you're asking me what to do. Where are you in from? Are you in from 120 and it went to, 300? You took no profit? Like, did you take any profit? You have to pay yourself for a good idea. You need to take more control. Tuco says, is a 72K retest necessary? Absolutely not. I mean, that's like asking when the price was here at 60K, that would be like asking, is it necessary to retest 40K? No, it wasn't. It's definitely not necessary. Weekly chart looks beautiful. Daily chart looks good. There's absolutely, for bears, it's necessary if they want to crack at something or like someone who's super sidelined and wants an obvious buy entry. Sure, 73K, but it's definitely not necessary for the trend to continue. Like, why would it be necessary, right? It's definitely not necessary, Tuco. Okay, let's check out these questions. So can you look at XRP? Is that a weekly bearish divergence on RSI? First of all, stop using RSI for divergence, especially regular divergence. I've done like several YouTubes on this recently. I explained in my Masterclass webinar. RSI is a bounded oscillator, has a fixed limit. It's actually a bullish divergence in RSI for RSI on the daily. Lower lows. Look at that. Lower lows, higher lows in price. RSI is a bounded oscillator. It's a fixed limit. Number one, you're better off buying overbought, right? The biggest price gains come from overbought. You're better off selling oversold. Trends tend to continue. You can only become overbought by being bullish. You only become bearish by being oversold. There's nothing. What was the question? Is it a weekly bearish divergence? Because daily's got bullish divergence. Is there a weekly bearish divergence in RSI? No, there's a weekly bullish divergence. There's a bullish divergence on this. Stop using this for regular. You have lower lows versus, remember, we're calculating based on the candle body close, right? Body close to body close. That's a bullish divergence. The price has retained the gains while the RSI is reset. That's a hidden bullish divergence. Stop using RSI for regular divergence. It's costing you money. I explained this in my Masterclass tutorial. Stop using RSI. And people who use RSI for regular divergence, be careful following them, especially when they draw divergence based on the candle wick. You can't do that. It's based on the candle close. So, XRP has a bullish hidden divergence on the weekly with RSI. Good question so far. Victor, how you doing, Victor? Victor Emmanuel, if I'm good with TA but I'm still losing money, what do I do? Stop for a little bit and work on your emotions, and your discipline is lacking. If you have TA, that means you can identify key price levels. You understand bullish above, bearish below. You understand how to delineate your risk, but you're not executing properly. Are you, Cliff, not Cliff, who asked the question? Victor, are you using a trading journal, Victor? I just so happen to have one coming out. You need to be writing down why you're entering the trade, how you're feeling, what your thesis is, when it invalidates, and then what happens after the fact, what you learned. And then you got to go back and study your mistakes. If you're losing money and you're not studying your mistakes and you're not gaining any value back, that's, what are you doing? Every trade, every lost trade there's some value back. There's some residue. The residue of a failed trade is a lesson yet to be learned. So if you're good at TA and you're losing money, your emotions are probably compromising you. You're playing because you're bored, or you're fearful, you're chasing pumps, or you're just discipline sucks. Why don't you start doing push-ups? Start doing push-ups before every trade, right? You got to find a way to slow yourself down, all right? Great question, Victor. That was a great question. Matej says, do you see fear on your timeline, Cheds? Yeah, definitely see a lot of fear, and I like it. I like the fear. Fear often leads to opportunity. I'm a big fan of fear on the timeline. I mean, this is Bitcoin's gorgeous. The rest of the market's in a little bit of trouble, but it's chart by chart, of course. Oh, Ray took a little hit here, but there's a big spot on Ray. Look at that. This is price at a key level. So what's my stop loss? I'm scaling into a long here, and if the price cannot hold over like 415, you get out. It's price at a key level. It's classical chart, and you drop to a 4-hour. You look for some structure. At this point, you're better off waiting for maybe a sweep and a recapture of this wick for a spring, or even using a spring off of a recapture of this tweezer low here. It's priced at a key level. This is your stop loss. You use a nearby horizontal level. I want to find Bilal. Bilal asked a question. I want to find it. Where was it? Hi. Hey, Bilal. Bilal says, I struggle finding the middle of the range. So the middle of the range. Okay, sure. Middle of the range here in Bitcoin is right around 96K, 97K. So you have the well-defined Bilal. There's a 4-hour. Let's clean this up. So in the daily chart, and everybody, thanks for hanging out, by the way. We got a good little crowd here. Next stream will be Friday. I'll do Friday and Saturday. If you've got a well-defined range low, you can draw that. You got a well-defined range peak. What's the middle of the channel? Well, roughly speaking, you can see highs, the lows, the highs, generally in this area. And then you kind of jump in, and you can see where, the price has been thrown back, middle of the channel. But you really don't want to play the middle of this channel. It's a very choppy sideways channel. Moving averages are sideways. You would basically just identify the channel based on the same support resistance structure you would use for the upper or lower. But you really often, most of the time, want to avoid the middle of the channel, especially in a range like this. So it's just based on price structure. Let's see here. Good question. March 1 said, do you think events like Libra, Trump coin are the signs of euphoria? Are signs of euphoria? What do you mean? I mean, it's the signs of greed. There's always greed in the market. It's sad to see what happened with Libra and how he took no responsibility. I'm not a fundamentals guy. This isn't politics. I'm just saying it looks really shady. And the same thing with the Trump coin. And it's just sad to me that a lot of these new participants are just plain random nonsense. There are good steady uptrends you can play. You can multiply your money in crypto by playing uptrends, established charts. I recommend staying away from all that nonsense. But if that's your thing, that's your thing, right? Take it by Forex. What do you think of Tau? Sure, I'll look at a couple of requests. We'll try to do a couple of requests here. What do I think about Tau? T-A-U. Yeah, this is a level you want to see hold. You see it temporarily lost and recaptured, viewing this as a spring or a false breakdown and recapture. I would want to see it hold above 350. If it cannot hold at 350, this chart is for sure in trouble. So you want to see it hold 350. I don't like it that much overall because it's priced below the 200. So 350 is an important level. You want to see that hold. Okay, awesome tutorial as well. Thanks, Usman. I appreciate that. Join Us says you're the best. I'm not the best. I'm second best. Chartman Dan's the best. No, he's good though. Check him out. Thanks for the tip in the RSI. I appreciate it. No problemo. This is an intro. Usman says, I love this. Is a really good question. Usman says, how do we evaluate our exit strategy? Like 5x? 5x? You want a 5x? That's your minimum? I mean, woof. If your whole thing is you need a 5x, you're going to end up with 0x. I mean, look, how do you take profit? Go to the Trading Wisdom playlist. Go to Lesson 9, Profit Taking. This is my best-selling book. I have 1/3 of the book for free. Watch Lesson 9, Profit Taking, and decide how to take profit. I tend to take a little profit no matter what as the price approaches a key level. Even if I got long at 90, I would take some profit at 107K. A little bit. You have to pay yourself for a good idea. How much is up to you? When have we had enough profit? That's up to you, brother. You ideally want to get in a position where, say for a good trade, you buy at 90K, you take a little profit at 107, and it breaks out and continues, and you're still holding 30, 40, 50% of your position. You can ride that and continue with the trend. Waiting for 5x, I think, is just foolish. You have to grind in this game. You have to add up small wins. You have to grind. Waiting for 5x, you're going to zero. That should be a quote. Waiting for 5x, you're going to end up 0x in your portfolio. I don't know. 5x, brother. That's not the way. And this is my style, but I'm telling you intuitively, that sounds like you're just go to my Trading Wisdom playlist. Watch the profit taking video. It's going to give you some good information, okay? I don't know, Mufred. If is 293 the top in Solana? I don't know. I could very easily catch a bid or find support here. It's dropping into a deep pocket of support. Guessing the local top. It's certainly a top for now. It certainly did give you an up thrust. That is pretty well defined. Broke the prior range peak, came back below. But until this level holds, I'm still looking to buy the dip in an uptrend. It's a well-defined weekly uptrend. The daily chart's in a little bit of trouble, but it's still at a level that I can define my risk upon. Okay. Let's see. Cheds, do you use alt Bitcoin charts to identify strong move against Bitcoin? No, I don't need to. I look at Bitcoin all day. I trade it and I study it. I teach it and I watch it so you don't have to. I know exactly what Bitcoin's doing. I have the structure in my mind. So when I look at something like Ray or I look at something like XRP or HBAR, I look at something else, I know whether it's stronger or weaker than Bitcoin intuitively. I don't need to look at X. Ooh, ruined. See you later. See you later, dog. I don't need to look at a pair versus Bitcoin, right? Because I know the Bitcoin chart. I feel like people get into trouble when they're doing that a lot because like something versus Bitcoin, like even Ethereum versus Bitcoin, right? And I look at this kind of as a general proxy for altcoins, but this can be going up because Ethereum and Bitcoin are both going up, just Ethereum's going up more. Or this can be going up because both Ethereum and Bitcoin are going down, but Ethereum is going up more. You're creating two variables, the numerator and the denominator. I recommend not looking at /BTC pairs unless you're trading them, which you can, but it's more difficult. Just pick a chart, have 10 or 15 charts, the best altcoins versus USD pair, and trade those. Simplify your system. Stop looking at dominance charts. What are we doing? USDT dominance. Like, whoever taught you that, ask for a refund, okay? Like, trade what's in front of you. Simplify your method. Stop using RSI, folks. Stop trying to draw divergence. Simple price versus support and resistance. You really have to simplify your method. There's too many bad habits that are being taught, and I see replicated here in this chat today. Let's see. This is a good little chat room. Let's get a couple more questions. Does anyone know the name of the big Cheds indicator? It's called price, BB. It's called price, brother. All right. This is a nice, this has been nice. This is part of the quick market update series on my YouTube channel, Cheds Trading. You can ride along with me as we grind to 100K followers. I teach professional technical analysis. I'm one of the few people, there's only a tiny handful of people who have bothered to study professional TA for crypto and use it on crypto and or on Twitter. I'm one of them, and I teach it for free, okay? I published 3 books. My 4th book is coming out, so my 3rd book is going to be free. Watch the Masterclass tutorial playlist. Watch the Trading Quotes playlist. This goes into 2 quick market updates. Bitcoin Live, best team in the world that studies crypto. I've been doing that for almost 7 years. I do not skip updates Wednesday, Sunday night. Do a real deep dive in the market. I teach you professional technical analysis. When you sign up, you get access to the entire team's work. But I want to do what I do mostly for free. I want to make it available to people because when I got started out, people helped me for free, and that's what I like to do. Of course, Big Cheds on Twitter. Check out my content there. There's been a wonderful stream, a wonderful audience. Hopefully I answered your questions. I did my best. And I'm going to be back on Friday for another live stream, Friday and Saturday. So Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, check me out here. And Bitcoin Live Wednesday, Sunday night. Rest of the time, I'm on Twitter. So, folks, thank you so much. It's been a wonderful day, a wonderful chat room, and I will talk to you soon. All right, Big Cheds out. Peace out, everybody. Be well, and thank you.